Hey there, I'm Luke, product design lead at Hydrin, and you're probably here because you want to know how to use Hydrin in the first place, which is awesome. So I'm here to kind of just show you around a bit. I got my Pixel 5a and I got my MacBook Pro with me, but you can follow along with any device you have. And let's just jump right in. So once you've logged into Hydrin, the first thing you'll see is the profile. You'll be automatically redirected there. The profile includes right off the bat just your profile picture and your name. But then as you start adding stuff, you'll also get things like bios and connections and things like that. So in order to actually edit this and add things and stuff like that, you're first going to want to press this little pencil button in the bottom. You'll also see a little tooltip that says Edit Profile. So immediately, that will expand to show you multiple results for how to edit your profile. Same thing for the phone. So if you hit the edit button, it will open up and expand in the same sort of way. So as you see, all the different options on the screen are showing you what the thing is that will change. And we're calling these panels. So you can click on a panel and then that shows you the edit menu for that specific panel. Editing profile picture is super simple. All you got to do is press the replace button in the bottom right of that little top menu. And then you select the picture you want to change it to. So once I've selected a picture from my computer, I can simply hit the check mark, or I can hit the undo button and then it'll go back to whatever I had before. But I'm going to save this because I want my profile picture to be an actual picture of me. So you hit the check mark, wait for it to upload, and then you get a check mark on that check mark when it actually finishes up. And then if you ever wanted to delete this, follow the same steps and then just press the trash can button. And then you'll see a preview of what that looks like before you ever actually save it. And then with Hydrin, we're also introducing the profile shape. So you can also select from this list a shape that best fits your personality. And you can also see a preview of that as you keep scrolling at the top of the screen. I really like this little guitar pick or triangular shape. I think that really works well. So we're going to save that and continue on our way. So with color, I have multiple options for how I want to best set my background color on the profile. So the first option is simply the pick button. The pick button will allow me to go through the system's UI for all the different color selections I can make. I select something that I think looks good, and then I just hit the set button or whatever it might be for your specific device. And then the second option is also to enter just a hex code. And you notice how all these options are changing as I select one over the other. So say I wanted to dial in something from a hex code, so I can go back into the picker after selecting a hex code and make some quick adjustments to that color. I don't have a hex code with me, but maybe I want to select it from the profile picture itself. So we have this awesome tool that will actually select colors directly from your profile picture. So I really like this one, so I'm going to select that, and I'm actually going to use that one as the final. And then once again, I press the green check mark, and then it saves automatically. And you notice everything on the site changes with that color. Other than that, you can also select the theme by just simply tapping on this bottom part. We have light and dark modes. It's pretty straightforward, and you pick whatever one works best for you. We're next going to go to the bio and username setting. So maybe you have already selected a username or have already typed in some information, but this section is very straightforward. All you have to do is type in the name that you want, add the bio. I'm going to say this. Perfect. And then same as before, you can hit the cancel button to undo all the changes, or in my case, I'm just going to hit the green check mark, and then all those changes are saved live. Finally is the most important section, and definitely the one that you'll probably be spending the most time in, and that is connections. So if you're like me, I don't have any connections to start my profile with. So you'll see this little tile at the bottom that says no connections yet. But the second I click on that, I can make some changes to that. First of all, you'll notice the new connections at the top. That's the first thing you're going to want to press. Nothing else is going to work until you have some connections on the screen. So I'm going to hit new connection, and then that's going to open up this panel, which leads straight to these two tabs at the top of the screen. First one is the link connections, and the second one is text connections. So link connection is very straightforward. All I have to do is type in the name of the platform or any title I really want, and then I can put in a link for said platform. So for instance, I want to have my Twitter. So I can type in Twitter in the title section, and then in the link section, I just type in the URL for twitter.com. And then as you can see in the bottom, it will automatically see if it's a platform that it recognizes. You can also look through all of the platforms that Hydrin has compatibility with by just clicking on all supported platforms. You don't have to do anything with this step. It's just so that you know we know what platform you're using. Anyway, without further ado, when you're ready to actually add this to your connections, you just press the little green check mark and then you're ready to go. Now, continuing on my laptop, I'm going to add a text connection. Text connections are a great way to really show off exactly what you're working on directly on your Hydrin page before anyone ever goes off to another link that you're sending them to. So I'm going to add new connection once again, and then I'm going to go to this second tab over here that says text. Now, once again, it's going to ask you for a title. I'm going to put in my new connection, or maybe my portfolio. As you can see, there's this whole blank space at the bottom part. Now, if you're on mobile or maybe a smaller device, you might not see it. There's a little action bar at the bottom, but you can simply get to the action bar if it's not showing up automatically by scrolling down to the bottom of the page. But for me, it's automatically there, so I don't have to worry about that. The action bar contains two things, the add button and the delete mode button, which I'll get into in a little bit. So first of all, the add button might look a little bit different depending on the device that you're using, but mainly one's going to say add, and then if you're on a smaller device like my phone, it's going to have a plus button. That gives you 4 different options for how you're going to interact with this text layout. So first of all, I can add my heading. So I'm going to call this my portfolio. It's a little bit lame, but I'll accept it. And then second of all, I'm going to add text. You can do whatever you want with text, but for me, I'm just going to use it as a subtitle. So I'm just going to type in, "This is really cool." And then finally, I'm going to add images. Now for this specific thing, because it is a portfolio and I do like to make art, this is like really the bread and butter of the text connections for me. So I can press add image the same way I would add anything else. And then I'm going to use this little 3D animation I've been working on. There's a couple different images of this. Don't worry about it. It's a guy. It's a guy. I will also note that immediately upon adding an image, you'll see a little uploading message, and during that time you can't reorder it. But the second that uploading message is gone, then everything is ready to save or reorder, whatever you want to do. Adding a couple more. I want this really wide shot. Yeah, that's perfect. So then once you have some elements put in here, you can also move around the placement of the elements just by clicking and dragging on it. It's super simple. So then if I want this one up here, definitely what I want. Finally, I can add a link. So let's just say I want this just to go straight back to my Hydrin profile for whatever reason. I don't know, whatever. So I can literally just type in Hydrin/Luke, and then I can add a link title for that, just Hydrin profile. So then once you're really happy with your layout, it's super basic. You can hit the check button. But first of all, maybe I really don't want this last image. So that's where delete mode comes into place. Delete mode is really easy for just deleting mass amounts of elements on the page. All you gotta do is press it, and then everything that you click on in this text layout is going to delete itself. So be sure that you're ready to do that, and make sure you know that delete mode is on before you're clicking on anything. So I'm just gonna delete this image, and then I'm ready to be done with that. So this is perfect. I love this little layout. I'm gonna hit the check mark just like everything else, and then it's automatically saved to my profile. And I can see it all down here by previewing it, and look at that. We got the guy. We got my portfolio. It's looking great. So after adding a new connection, you'll see all of your connections in this edit connection main feed. So just like in the instructions say, you can reorder them just by clicking and dragging. It's like super easy. It's just like you would any of the elements in the text connection. And then when you're ready to edit one, you just open it up really quick, and then you can select, I want to change this title to my Twitter, right? That makes sense. That's something that people would want to do, right? So anyway, I can hit save changes, and then that automatically applies. Or maybe I want to change this to YouTube, so I can do that, and then the platform is automatically recognized too. Now, this edit menu also has a couple different things that you can use, which is really nice. So for a link connection like this one links to YouTube and not like a text connection. I can get 2 different types of share links. The first one is going to allow you to get analytics from it. The second one is just going to give you a copied version of the URL that you originally typed into here. So simply click on it, and then you have that automatically copied to whatever you want. And then down here, you'll also notice that there's analytics for this. Now, really quickly, I'm gonna jump over to the text connection one again, because I think it's a lot of fun. So I can open this up a couple more times just to really prove my point. Like, this is all happening live, which I think is incredible. And then you'll notice that if I go to analytics and I hit update, and I can hover over this section, you'll see it got 3 clicks by one unique person, the unique person being me, which is fun. So by default, it's going to show you just today's day, but if you want to change the range, you can do that for up to 65 days at a time. And I'm going to select even some days in the future. I think that's super cool. So in this mode, assuming that I have more than 7 days, it's going to show me the week view. So basically I can see, in this week between June 15th and June 21st, I have 3 clicks. Finally, if I wanted to expand just this time range, I can just hit expand this timeline, and then that will open up just the week. And then now we're in week view, which means that I can see specific days. So I want to go to, this day, and then now I can expand that timeline once again. And would you look at that? That's crazy. We got it right here. Super cool, right? That's analytics. It's all happening live, and everything, of course, is coming free with any connection that you make. So lastly, if I want to edit a text connection in particular, which is where I already am, it's just as simple as adding it in the first place. So I can click and drag anywhere to move an image around, or maybe I want to edit this text, and then just make sure to save changes, then you're good to go. When I'm done with a connection, all I have to do is press this little trash can icon. It's also going to say delete connection over top of it. Just make sure to confirm that you want to do this, and then it will delete that connection automatically. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of all this and just go back to the main profile. So after that, there are a couple other buttons. You can simply share your profile. So we have 2 options for sharing. You can copy a link to it, or you can copy the embedded code, which is something brand new. So I'm just gonna copy the link for this, and then I can share with anybody. The last one is the account settings panel. So I can look at all the different options that I have here, like log out. Help is going to go directly to the main Hydrin help page. So if you need any help with Hydrin in the future, that's how you get to it. And then finally, there's a link to Dive tab as well, in case you want to access Dive tab from here, which is another service that we offer. I'm going to go to settings really quick. Settings is just a page that helps you get the rest of the account information you need out of the way. If you want to change your password, just enter in all the password stuff here. We'll also show you some best practices, which I think is cool. And then once you actually add a password, which I'm going to do really quick just by typing in password, you get this little green check mark, and you can press it if you want. Midnight mode is for people who want to specifically cater to an 18+ audience. So all you have to do is click on this flashlight, and then that means that users will automatically be given a little pop-up that says, basically warns them of your profile, and they can choose to escape it if they want. Lastly, we have 3 options for just security purposes. So you can clear remember me from all devices, which means basically any device that's logged into your account will no longer have access to it without using your email and password again. I'm not going to do that, but you can by hitting clear it. And then you can suspend the account just by typing in your email. You'll notice that we don't have the email up here. The only way that you would know it is if you knew your email associated with the account. And then finally, you can delete the account by typing in your full login credentials and then pressing the green check mark. And that's all you have to do. But hopefully you don't. But if you want to, it's an option for you. Anyways, that's it. That's Hydrin in a nutshell. And then this is what the profile looks like when you're finally finished with everything that you're doing. I'll also show you what it looks like on my phone because, I think that's super cool to see. It's really a cross-platform experience, and it's super exciting. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up. Hopefully that helps you with whatever you want to do on Hydrin, and we look forward to seeing what awesome creations you make on our platform. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I've been Luke, and have a great rest of your day. This is really long. I'm so sorry, Sam.
No, it's fine.
I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like 4 minutes. I didn't realize how many features Hydrin has. No wonder this has been taking us like years to get to
It's insane.
like, oh.
But awesome. Insane.
I'm glad you think so.